live and I can say good morning and happy Saturday. Oh, you know what? I don't think I wanted. This is gonna. Yeah, that's better. All right. I will do my intro and I will say, hey there, YouTube, slasher chicks and slasher dudes. My name is Alicia, and this is Slasher Chick TV, where we like to talk about growth mindset and negotiation strategies. So you never have to choose between this or that. You can always say yes to this/that. And in other multitasking fashion, I am trying to ride to Maryland right now and get this live out of the way uh, so that I can definitely say I did day 66. I feel like, though, I don't know, I feel like my car is probably too loud. I probably hear it, and then I'm going to try this on my other phone and see what happens on. So that's going to defeat the purpose if I can't, make that happen. But what I was hoping to do is at least do my live stream for today and do my 30 minutes to continue my 90 consecutive days of live streaming, because the weekends are the hardest. And I was actually exercising some self care today by doing fun things, which would also then make it hard to go live today. All right, now the only way I know to avoid an echo is I'm going to have to mute one and turn on the other. So here we go. Hold on. It's going to be delayed anyway. Okay, you can't really hear it. That's interesting. All right, so lesson learned on that today. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna keep talking. We're gonna keep chatting for at least a half an hour this morning, and I will tell you something that is self care related that I'm currently struggling with. Yesterday, I released a video. It's one I've been planning to make for a while. All right, by a while, I mean at least, I don't know, a couple weeks. And I'm particularly proud of the edit. And I'm really struggling with the fact that I'm not supposed to care about the numbers, but it's got 5 views and I care. Because it's a really good edit. Anyway, and if you've been with me on this journey, you know that one of my biggest pain points about YouTube is the editing, because it takes so long. It's a tedious process. But when you get a good edit, the outcome feels almost worth it. And it is worth it though. It's worth it. Yeah, again, like I said, I'm really struggling with this because I'm trying to talk myself into being okay with the fact that my really good edit is being wasted. That's what's happening. Hold on, my GPS is telling me that in 1.9 miles, stay to the right on the same highway that I'm on right now. So that's that's what I'm dealing with today, and trying to not think about that. Now, I did have some shorts be released today, and I learned also that if you schedule your shorts, or if you schedule anything, I scheduled it through Opus Pro, and at the time that it was scheduled to be released, it's just the time that it starts processing. But it's still got to go through the whole YouTube processing thing. So that was also a new thing that I learned today. So if you schedule something to publish at 9, but it's through a third party, it's 9 plus however long it takes to process the video. For some reason, my GPS wants to tell me to continue going straight for the same miles that it just told me to go straight through. You just said we were going to go straight for 1.9 miles. Why are you telling me again to go straight for point 0.8? Point 0.8 is less than 1.9? So I kind of knew that, GPS. See, just like, okay. I might have it set to be like super sensitive. Or, or I may be set to super sensitive right now, which is also which is also a real possibility. I'm willing to accept that to be one of the uh, one of the reasons. I feel like I can safely say this, that now I am literally in Baltimore, and if you are from the area, then you know what I mean. Now I'm in a tunnel, and I hate tunnels. I have an irrational fear about both tunnels and bridges. They are two of my fears. Now, I think another act of self care is just facing some of those fears head on. Like, although I am afraid of tunnels and bridges, I have no choice but to go through them or over them. So, right now, and actually, to be clear, I'm not afraid of all tunnels. I'm afraid of the tunnels that go underwater. If they are going under like a bridge, like that's gonna, if they're going through a mountain or something, I don't really care. I don't think the mountain's gonna collapse on the tunnel. But if I'm going through a tunnel that's underwater, I do think the water's gonna cave in the tunnel, and we're all gonna drown and die. That's the fear. Hence, I said it was irrational though, like that extreme. But aren't most fears like that? Like, really, when you think about it, most most things that we fear in the modern world are actually quite irrational fears, because the majority of our needs are met. We don't have to go like hunt and gather. Like, the threat of imminent danger does not isn't like always there in every single moment. I totally forgot that Baltimore had a cruise port, and it's another good option for cruising if you are in the, well, depending on who you talk to, the Northeast or Mid Atlantic. Some people call it Mid Atlantic. I consider Pennsylvania the Northeast, but that's me. But if you are in the Northeast, there are, besides Baltimore, there's a port in New Jersey that also you can cruise from, and there's one in New York. Now, all three of those ports, because of their location, mean that you are going on at a minimum of 7 day cruise. They might have, or it's like a cruise to nowhere where they just like go out to the ocean and come back. But if you want to go to Bermuda, the Bahamas, Aruba, you can do all of that from Baltimore, New York, or Jersey on a cruise. So if that's something you've thought about as an act of self-care, was to take a cruise, look into that. This is what happens when you don't have a plan for the conversation and you're just talking about the things that you see on your ride. One thing I love, though, about riding along this particular route are all the bodies of water that you cross, because I just love being near water. And I never actually did any visits to like the Baltimore Harbor stuff. I don't think. Well, is there stuff to visit there? I think there is. Like, but as far as being near bodies of water, yeah, that's one body of water I've never really hung out in the touristy area. Montgomery Park. Is that like a? I mean, it's like a corporate building with a fancy name. So yeah, that was kind of all over the place as it relates to self-care. I'm talking about doing something fun as an act of self-care. Yesterday in my live stream, I went to a concert that I clearly was having fun. That was an act of self-care. Knowing things that bring you joy, like being near bodies of water, and then that way you can make sure that happens frequently. That's also something that can aid your self-care. I think the knowing the things that bring you joy is the first thing. So I do highly recommend, here we go. This is a good exercise for someone to do. And I did not come to this as from a joy perspective. I came to this list because when I don't know if my therapist gave me this exercise, if I came up with it on my own. At any rate, like I crafted a list of mood boosters and things that, like, if I'm depressed or sad or whatever, like, they always will boost my mood, and things that, it's because that's a resource, that's a tool that you can use, whatever those mood boosters might be for you. And so that's how I know being near a body of water is a mood booster for me, or at least a calming effect. Yeah. Red nail polish, that's on my list, is mood boosters. Music. I'm one of those people that, like, I love to just, like, dance around by myself at home. What the world is this about? I feel like they could have put more warning before the road split up ahead in a way that I quite frankly believe to be a hazard. But apparently it's not. You know how I know? Because it's here and they didn't get sued yet. So it's apparently working. Because one thing people don't want is to get sued. That's also one thing I keep in mind when I'm thinking about potential risks of things that I think might bring me joy, right? I look at this, I go to something and it's, oh, look at the bungee cord ride. And you're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to get on the bungee cord ride. Well, they don't want to get sued. So the bungee cord ride's probably pretty safe. That's how I think about it. I also, and I hope I don't ever regret these words, but I don't think I will, because it's just true. If I go out doing something I love, I'm okay with that. At least I was living. Like, at least, like, I would be much more upset to go out at home, sitting on a couch, from a heart attack from being a sloth. That's probably also very extreme. But you see what I'm saying? I'd much rather be living and be taken out than be existing and be taken out. How about that? That's really what it comes down to. Which is why I keep a list of things that bring me joy, so that I can live. And it's sometimes in the small things, like red nail polish. I shared this in the Coach Sherry's live last night when we were just having Friday chats. Like, one of my favorite places in the entire world to be is a bookstore with my mom. Not a particular bookstore, just literally any bookstore. That is a joy. One, it's a thing that we've done like all our lives. Like, books and stuff have always been a part of our hobbies and something that we've shared. So it has a nostalgia thing about it for sure. A calming aspect. It's like a warm fuzzy though. So that's why even bookstores, period, if I can't be there with my mom, is still a joy thingy. I wish this wasn't true, but salt. Salt brings me joy. I love salty foods. I'm not a sweets person, really. So people that are like, oh, they have a sweet tooth, I have a salt tooth. I have salt tongue, I guess you would call it. But give me, like, chips, popcorn, anything, bacon, anything salty, and I like it. And that's why I say it's kind of a bad thing, like, that it brings me joy, but it's like not necessarily good for you to consume too much salt. But salt for flavor, to, like, bring flavors out of stuff, is like, people have been doing that since people have been cooking. So I'm just saying. So that's another thing that brings. Oh, rainbows. Rainbows bring me joy. I love seeing a rainbow. So those are also things that bring me joy. I should probably think of other lists though that aren't things that, because I just like a rainbow. I can't bring a rainbow on my own, right? So things that you could just actively do. So yeah, I named dancing around to music. You could just actively do that. What else brings me joy? Laughing. I love to laugh. So I would add, a conversation with anyone who can make you laugh. Like, everyone, well, hopefully, I wish this for everyone, has that like one person in their life that, like, no matter what they're going through, how angry or upset they are, for some reason, that person is always able to do something to make them laugh, either by accident or on purpose. So I think knowing who you can talk to when you need that kind of like push is an act of self-care as well. Knowing when not to talk to any damn body is also an act of self-care. Like knowing, oh, if I go talk to someone right now about this thing with the way that I'm feeling, I will likely make it worse. Perhaps I should process this a bit more before I go do something with it. It is also an act of self-care. I don't remember where this came up. This came up in somebody else's live the other day, and I was saying in the chat, but I couldn't talk about it aloud. Yeah, that's why I halt. And I use that acronym for like do certain things when you're hungry, angry, unshowered, lonely, or tired. And so, like, when you're feeling yourself frustrated and irritated or about to like lash out, ask yourself that question. Like, am I hungry, angry, unshowered, lonely, or tired? Because is that what's talking right now and not me? Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Coach Sherry. I am live early because you and I have talked about this. The weekends are harder, and I don't know what the rest of my day is going to look like. I'm already behind schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and check this off as I ride in the car. And I was just thinking about you because right now I'm getting to be a passenger princess. It doesn't happen often, but today I get to vicariously have a Coach Sherry experience. Yes, okay, it was your life when we were talking about it. That's so yeah, I started with just the HALT, and I don't know where I got it from who added the U for the unshowered. But that unshowered, I was like, yes, you're right, you're not feeling your freshest best. So maybe those are times I should hold back too. Because that's also feeling like it's the same as the hungry to me. Like my basic needs have not been met yet today. And so before I go try to solve for this thing, let me meet my basic needs. But exactly, I had to get it in how I can. And so when I say I'm already late, I'm supposed to be on the way to the African American History Museum. I don't know if you've ever been there yet. Because I know you've had good DC, so maybe you've already visited it, but I have not. And I might not be visiting it today either, but I'm going to try if we get there in time for our appointment. And if we don't, I will go with the flow and deal with it as it happens. Now, that reminds me of another thing I will name as an act of self-care. That's pretty much how, if I'm traveling, I basically operate with, I expect everything to go wrong, and then when things don't go wrong, oh, it's all a pleasant surprise. But if I don't keep that in mind, then you're like frustrated. Yeah, frustrated. Both flustered and frustrated when things don't go according to quote unquote plan. And in the most recent years, when I've gotten made me feel anxious and even the prep, one of my friends gave me this to use when she's like, "What's the MVP?" And you use that in business about like, well, what's the minimal viable product? And so she'll use it. She's like, use that for a certain thing. So I forgot whatever it was, but like whatever event it was I was going to at that time, I was like getting anxious about all the things I had to do leading up to it. And she's like, well, what's the MVP? And really the MVP was I needed my ticket to get there. and my ticket to go to the event when I got there. And as long as I had those two things, I was good. Everything else could be figured out. And so those are the two things I keep in mind with the travel. Everything's going to go wrong, and what's the MVP? Yeah, I really enjoyed the live last night. It was perfect timing. I started to put this in the chat because I knew I was supposed to be up at 5 o'clock this morning, and I was like, I need to go to bed. But we were having such a good conversation, so I did not go to bed. Yeah, I know it used to be so hard to get the reservation. So I don't know. If I don't make it on time, they said I can still use the reservation at a different time. So hopefully that is the case. Hi, Marlene. Did you go live yet today? Or do you wait? Because no, I know I saw on your other thing you don't go live again until Monday, but I think that's a different channel. And I don't think that's the Marlene Saunders show. And Gigi, the Marlene Saunders show went on the weekend. But yes, I was definitely tired from the concert. But I do still have my voice. I did not scream my voice out, Marlene, like I thought I was going to. So, oh no, I haven't been to the Black Wax Museum. Maybe I'll end up there because I'm assuming they don't have the same kind of lines. But that sounds fun. Okay, so this channel is Monday through Thursday. All right, so Marlene Saunders show on Monday through Thursday. And then on the weekend, do you ever go live, or is that when you really mostly record your pre-recorded videos and do your beach trips that we are so jealous of? Because I'm over here looking at the Baltimore Harbor. Yeah, listen, venturing off into some places in Baltimore are all potentially weird locations, but I will go in the daytime, Coach Sherry, for sure. I'm now, especially as a Philadelphian, there's very few places I'm afraid to go in the day. In the day, I'll go about everywhere, even in Philadelphia. But when it gets dusk, there's some places in Philadelphia I don't even want to drive through. Like if I can't go at least 50, I'm not even going to drive through it because I don't even want to slow down and stop at this light. Oh, only your vlog channel do you go live on Monday and Wednesdays. Okay, I'm so interested, Marlene. One, because I just follow you on all of them, and whatever notification I get, that's how I know where you're at. But I'm also interested because I'm always very impressed at how you manage your schedule for multiple channels. So that's why I'm always asking you all these questions. But not a but, and I'm still down to do the some like more one-on-one editing things if you would like to. We just have to actually coordinate when we are going to do that. That's one thing that I think is also, I would still say, an act of self-care. I really, like I said, the editing is tedious, but when the edit comes out good, I really do like it. I don't know if that's something I would ever want to do for pay, because then I think that would take out some of the joy of it. So I don't know. Now, Coach Sherry, you know how I feel about the concert tickets. And just with what we were talking about last night about the OJs performing, yes, Maryland isn't that much of a drive for you. And you don't know how long the OJ's going to be performing. So if you got a chance to go see them, you got to go see them, because this might be it. Another concert I went to see Prince when he did the Musicology tour 3 times on that tour. And I was so glad I did, because he got a second hip replacement after that. No more tours. Well, and then, but don't miss the chance. Yes, I really do hope you go see Janet. I've been seeing her tour, and it has been in like every city but mine. I don't know what day she's coming to Philadelphia, but she's also on my list of like I would like to see Janet before I leave this earth. Yeah, I just want to see your spreadsheets, Marlene. Or maybe you don't organize your stuff in spreadsheets. I love a good spreadsheet, but I still haven't organized all of my stuff in a spreadsheet. Yeah, and so Coach Cherry, I hope you tell us later that you went because you gotta go. You know, don't let the OJs be your Luther Vandross. You know what I'm saying? Of like how I didn't go. Um, no, but see, here's the thing, because there are some people like that too. That it's like, oh, I saw you back in the day, and I don't know. I love a good paper planner. I don't know if you know you're gonna give the same thing. And actually, I take that back. Yeah, there's probably people like that because that I wouldn't go see again just for that reason. Because I used New Edition. I have always gone to like every tour New Edition is done. I even went to the reunion tour when they had Bobby and Johnny on the reunion tour. Okay, like I love me some New Edition, and I used to always say about Bobby Brown, Bobby still got it. Bobby still got it. Until recently, I saw this show that Bobby did, and I'm like, who is that? And I couldn't even believe that was Bobby Brown. And he was on stage all tired, huffing and puffing. Like, I could have gave a better Bobby Brown performance than he did. And so now I understand what you mean when you say, like, oh, I don't know. But Janet still gives good show. Like Janet is still up there dancing. Like she might not be up there dancing like 1990s Janet, but she's still up there dancing like 2000s Janet. You know, she might not be dancing like the 1900s Janet and Coach Sherry, but the 2000s Janet, I'm telling you, she still is doing that. Yeah, I think I might have to agree with Marlene here on the older Janet might actually be an even better show. I really do think that right now because I got sucked into that J Lo rabbit hole, and I thought a lot of the choreography in that horrible movie was good, but if other dancers doing it, then J Lo being front and center. So I think that Janet, being the artist that she is, well, actually, point of correction, the performer, because I'm really funny about the word artist. You can't use artist for me unless you actually play an instrument. And Janet doesn't play any instruments to my knowledge, so but she is a great performer. Well, you know what? Okay, if you're right. Well, you know your voice is an instrument though too, and Janet does sing. But anyway, Janet Jackson's an artist. I think because of the artist that she is, she would make sure that it's a show that like the dancing can't be anything but a part of the forefront on a Janet show. So if she's not the most powerful dancer, the most powerful dancers are going to be featured. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Not Bobby looks like TD Jakes now. I still couldn't believe that recent performance. If I find the clip, I might have to repost it because I couldn't believe that was Bobby Brown. And even even older Bobby has still always put on a fantastic show. But I guess he's getting tired now. I don't know. Oh, that's great, Coach Harry. That at least you're still going, and you can network and see other potential bookstores that you might want to get it into. There's so many other things that you can still get out of going to the African American Book Festival. I think the weather is probably going to be pretty great for you too today because I know it's pretty great here. But I might have to agree, Marlene, that Bobby needs to give up the live performing because he should have stopped while he was ahead so that everybody's last memory is, oh, that Bobby Brown, man, he puts on a good show. Because let me tell you, if Genuine had done that, to the left, if Genuine had stopped performing and never tried to perform again, we would still remember that same OG. We would not remember the giggity, giggity, giggity genuine that we remember of today. You see, this is how you know he must not have anybody on his team. Because who let him do that? Not he was off the stage on every other song going to catch his breath. I'm sorry. But I know that's what Bobby was doing over there. Bobby was on the sideline just deep breathing. Wait, Smokey can't perform anymore? Don't tell me Smokey pulling Anita Baker. Now, let me tell you, that is probably one of my favorite performers in the world. I've never been to an Anita Baker show, but Anita Baker, she will show up to her own show, forgot her own words, still don't care. And people keep going. Just like anybody that goes to a Lauryn Hill concert at this point. I don't want to hear you complain about Lauryn being late. You should know better at this point. You signed up for this. Just shut up and wait for her. That's what I do. No, not Smokey Gyrate. And I have to go Google this. I have to see this now. As a matter of fact, perfect time. I just reached my threshold where I did my 30 minutes. Now, Coach Sherry, yeah, she may or may not show up. That's what I'm saying. You knew what you were signing up for. I do not feel bad for you. And if she comes, you probably gonna get a good show if she however 3-4 songs she sings. But yeah, I'm hoping we make it to the museum, and if not, we'll do something else here. But I have enjoyed this live. It was an act of self-care to check in with you ladies today and fill my cup this morning. And Coach Cherry, if you go live from the African American Book Festival, I hope to see that. And Marlene, I hope you have a great day the rest of your day today. And I will actually message you on Instagram for us to coordinate our time. We're going to really actually coordinate one. But thank you all for coming for day 66 of my 90 consecutive days of live streaming. I hope to see you for day 67. And if no one else told you today, you are more than enough. And I love you.